crash landing on the Los. Fiona Blackwood had never believed in destiny. To her, the universe was merely a canvas of mathematical probabilities, cold equations that determined the trajectory of celestial bodies. As a space cartographer for the Interstellar Mapping Initiative, she spent her days charting the uncharted, navigating her small scout vessel through the far reaches of unexplored space. Warning: critical system failure. Emergency landing protocols engaged, the ship's AI announced, its synthetic voice betraying no hint of the panic that now surged through Fiona's body. Override. I need manual control, she shouted, fingers flying across the holographic display as her vessel plummeted toward an unidentified planet. The ship shuddered violently as it entered the atmosphere, heat shields flaring dangerously bright. Fiona's knuckles whitened around the control stick as she fought for stability. She hadn't meant to approach this system, let alone crash land on one of its planets. This was supposed to be a routine mapping expedition, chart the outermost planets of the Vega sector and return to base. Yet here she was, hurtling toward a planet that shouldn't exist according to her charts, a swirling blue-green orb that grew larger with each passing second. The crash was both better and worse than she'd anticipated. Better because she survived, worse because she was now stranded on an unknown world with a damaged ship and communication systems that seemed determined to remain offline. Wonderful, Fiona muttered, wiping blood from a small cut on her forehead as she surveyed the wreckage. Just perfect. The air around her felt strange, thicker than Earth's but somehow easier to breathe. The gravity was slightly lighter, making each step feel like a small bounce. Around her, a dense forest of what appeared to be trees stretched in every direction, though these were unlike any trees she had seen before. Their trunks were a deep purple, almost black, while their leaves shimmered with an iridescent blue that seemed to pulse with its own inner light. Fiona checked her emergency beacon. Dead. Her distress signal would never reach the initiative from here. She was, for all intents and purposes, alone. Or so she thought. The rustling began subtly, just a whisper among the strange foliage. Then it grew louder, more deliberate. Fiona reached for her sidearm, a standard-issue plasma pistol she'd never had cause to use outside of training simulations. "Who's there?" she called, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. The answer came not in words but in movement. From between the trees emerged a figure that defied Fiona's understanding of humanoid anatomy. It stood nearly 7 feet tall, with limbs that seemed too long and too graceful to be real. Its skin was the color of moonlight, translucent in places to reveal a network of luminescent veins beneath. But it was the eyes that truly captured Fiona's attention, 3 of them, arranged in a triangle across a face that was both alien and strangely beautiful. "You are not welcome here, Star Traveler," the being said, its voice a melodic sound that seemed to bypass Fiona's ears and speak directly to her mind. "Yet the Queen wishes to see you." "Queen?" Fiona repeated, lowering her weapon slightly. "I don't understand. I'm just a cartographer. My ship crashed, I didn't mean to come here." The being tilted its head, all 3 eyes blinking in unison. "Intention matters not. You are here, and that is enough." Before Fiona could respond, more figures emerged from the forest, each similar to the first but with subtle variations in height and the patterns of their luminescent veins. They surrounded her, not threatening but undeniably imposing. "I'm Fiona Blackwood," she offered, hoping that diplomacy might prevail where resistance would surely fail. "From Earth." "Earth," the first being repeated, the word somehow sounding ancient in its mouth. "A distant world. The Queen will be most interested." They led her through the forest, a journey that lasted what felt like hours. As they walked, the vegetation changed, becoming more deliberately arranged, cultivated. Fiona realized they were entering what must be the outskirts of a settlement. The city, if it could be called that, was unlike anything Fiona had ever encountered. Buildings spiraled upward, constructed from what appeared to be living crystal that grew and shifted subtly as she watched. Lights flickered within the translucent walls, creating patterns that reminded Fiona of star charts. At the center stood a structure that dwarfed all others, a palace of sorts that seemed to capture the light of this world's distant sun and amplify it, sending prismatic rays in all directions. It was here that they brought her, through corridors that whispered with the movements of unseen beings, into a vast chamber where the crystal walls sang with soft, haunting music. And there, seated upon a throne that appeared to be carved from a single massive gemstone, was the queen. She was both like and unlike her subjects, taller, her moonlight skin touched with hints of blue, her 3 eyes larger and more vibrant, shining with an intelligence that transcended species. Upon her head rested a crown of what Fiona first took to be jewels but soon realized were living organisms, small creatures that pulsed with light in rhythm with the queen's breathing. "Welcome, daughter of Earth," the queen said, her mental voice stronger than that of her subjects, resonating through Fiona's entire being. "I am Queen Nyxera of the Thalorian people. You stand in the heart of the Los, a world hidden from your charts by design, not by chance." Fiona bowed awkwardly, unsure of the proper protocol but certain that respect was warranted. "Your Majesty, I apologize for my intrusion." "My ship." "Yes, your vessel," Nyxera interrupted, waving a long-fingered hand dismissively. "It is being examined by our engineers. The damage is significant." Hope flared in Fiona's chest. "Can it be repaired?" "Perhaps," the queen said, rising from her throne with fluid grace. She towered over Fiona, her presence overwhelming in its intensity. "But there is a price for everything, Fiona Blackwood." "I have nothing to offer," Fiona admitted. "Just myself and my skills as a cartographer." Queen Nyxera's 3 eyes blinked in sequence, creating a hypnotic effect. "You have more than you know. The stars have guided you here for a purpose. Your arrival was written in the cosmic tapestry long before your birth." Fiona frowned, skepticism overriding her diplomatic restraint. "With all due respect, Your Majesty, I don't believe in fate. I'm here because of a system malfunction, nothing more." The queen made a sound that might have been laughter, though it held no humor. "Belief is not required for truth to be truth, star traveler. You are here because you are needed." "Needed for what?" Nyxera descended the crystalline steps of her dais, moving toward Fiona with predatory grace. "My people are ancient, older than your civilization can comprehend. We have watched the stars since the first light pierced the darkness of creation. And now, the darkness returns." She gestured, and the crystal walls of the chamber shifted, displaying images that made Fiona's blood run cold, stars blinking out one by one, entire systems vanishing into nothingness. "Something consumes the cosmos," Nyxera continued, her mental voice tinged with sorrow. "A hunger that cannot be sated, a void that cannot be filled. It approaches the Los, and after us, your Earth. What can I possibly do against that?" Fiona asked, genuinely perplexed. "You can find the Shimmer Stone," the queen replied simply. "Hidden in the crystal forests beyond the city lies an artifact of immense power, a gift from the cosmos itself. It has chosen you as its bearer." Fiona shook her head in disbelief. "This is insane. I'm just a cartographer, not some chosen one." "The stone does not care for titles or self-perception," Nyxera said firmly. "It has called to you across the stars, drawing your vessel to our world despite all odds. Will you answer its call? And if I refuse?" The queen's expression hardened, her 3 eyes narrowing simultaneously. "Then you will remain on the Los until the darkness comes, and we will all face oblivion together." Fiona looked around at the alien faces watching her, at the beauty of this hidden world, and thought of Earth, so distant yet now somehow connected to this strange place by her presence. "What exactly is this Shimmer Stone supposed to do?" she asked finally. Queen Nyxera's eyes softened slightly. "That, Fiona Blackwood, is something you must discover for yourself. But know this, the gift it offers is beyond value, beyond imagination. It will change not only your fate but the fate of 2 worlds. The queen extended a slender hand toward Fiona. Will you accept the challenge? Fiona hesitated, her practical nature warring with the undeniable reality of this extraordinary situation. Finally, with a deep breath, she clasped the queen's hand. I'll find your shimmer stone, she said, surprising herself with her own conviction. But I want your word that you'll help me return to Earth afterward. Queen Nixera's lips curved into something resembling a smile. When your task is complete, Star Traveler, you will have earned a reward beyond your imagining. That I promise you. As the queen's cold fingers tightened around hers, Fiona couldn't shake the feeling that she had just agreed to something far more complicated than a simple treasure hunt. Whatever this shimmer stone was, whatever gift it supposedly offered, she had a sinking suspicion that finding it was only the beginning of her troubles. The Shimmerstone's secret. Dawn on the Los brought with it a light that defied Earth's physics. The twin suns cast overlapping shadows that shifted in hues of purple and teal. Fiona stood at the edge of the Thalorian city, equipped with only a basic survival pack and a translucent map crystal provided by Queen Nixera's attendants. The crystal forests lie beyond the Singing Plains, explained the Los, a Thalorian guide assigned to accompany Fiona to the forest's edge. His 3 eyes blinked asynchronously as he gestured toward the shimmering expanse ahead. I cannot follow you beyond the threshold. The Shimmerstone's call is for you alone. Fiona adjusted her pack, uncertainty gnawing at her confidence. How will I know when I've found it? The stone will recognize you, the Los replied cryptically. As it has already done by bringing you to our world. The journey across the Singing Plains took most of the day. True to their name, the plains emitted soft, melodic tones whenever the wind brushed across the strange crystalline grasses. By sunset, Fiona stood before the entrance to the crystal forest, a towering wall of transparent trees that refracted the fading light into thousands of miniature rainbows. This is where I leave you, the Los said, bowing deeply. Remember the Queen's words, the Shimmerstone has chosen you. Trust in that truth when the path seems uncertain. Alone now, Fiona took her first steps into the forest. The moment she crossed the threshold, the atmosphere changed. The air felt charged, almost alive with energy that made the hairs on her arms stand on end. The crystal trees towered overhead, their branches interlocking to form a canopy that filtered the starlight into dazzling patterns on the forest floor. I'm looking for a stone in a forest made of crystal, she muttered to herself. Clearly, this is well thought out. As she ventured deeper, the forest seemed to respond to her presence. Branches shifted to clear her path, while others bent low as if examining this strange visitor. Occasionally, small creatures, translucent like the trees but clearly animate, darted across her path, leaving trails of soft light in their wake. Hours passed, and Fiona's frustration mounted. The map crystal pulsed more urgently now, but its guidance seemed circular, leading her through the same beautiful but ultimately empty clearings. Just as she was considering returning to confront Queen Nixera about the futility of this quest, she heard it, a sound unlike any other in the forest, a resonant hum that seemed to vibrate through her very bones. Following the sound, Fiona pushed through a curtain of crystal vines to find herself in a perfect circular clearing. At its center stood a single pedestal of raw, uncut crystal, and upon it rested a stone no larger than her palm. Unlike the transparent beauty of everything else in the forest, the shimmer stone was opaque, its surface a deep indigo marked with swirls of silver that moved like liquid metal beneath its surface. Found you, Fiona whispered, approaching cautiously. As her fingers closed around the stone, a jolt of energy surged through her body. The clearing disappeared, replaced by a cascade of images too rapid to comprehend, stars birthing and dying, civilizations rising and falling, the vast tapestry of time itself unfolding before her eyes. When the vision cleared, Fiona found herself back in the clearing, the shimmer stone pulsing warmly in her hand. But she was no longer alone. You have succeeded where many have failed, said a voice, and Fiona turned to find Queen Nixera standing at the edge of the clearing, her 3 eyes glowing with an intensity that hadn't been there before. "You knew I would," Fiona replied, sudden understanding dawning. "You've been watching me this whole time." Nyxera inclined her head. "The test was not whether you could find the stone, but whether it would accept you." "Accept me for what?" The queen glided forward, her movements more fluid than seemed physically possible. "The Shimmer Stone is not merely an object of power, Fiona Blackwood. It is a key, a conduit between worlds and possibilities." "What does that mean?" Fiona asked, still clutching the stone that continued to pulse in rhythm with her heartbeat. "My people are ancient, as I told you, but we are also dying," Nyxera admitted, a sadness entering her mental voice. "The darkness that consumes the stars is of our own making, an ancient weapon created to protect the Los that has grown beyond our control. It feeds on stellar energy, and soon it will devour even us, its creators." Fiona stared at the queen in horror. "You created that thing? And now you expect me to what, stop it?" "Not stop it," Nyxera corrected. "Redirect it. The Shimmer Stone allows its bearer to see potential futures, to navigate the intricate pathways of probability. With it, you can find the one path where both our worlds survive." Fiona looked down at the stone in her hand with new understanding. "That's why you needed someone from Earth, someone connected to both worlds who could see both futures." "Yes," the queen confirmed. "The stone has bonded with you now. Its gift is yours, if you choose to accept it. And if I don't? Then the darkness will continue its path. The Los will fall first, then eventually, Earth. The choice is yours, as it always has been." Fiona closed her eyes, feeling the weight of 2 worlds suddenly resting on her shoulders. The stone pulsed faster now, eager, almost impatient. With a deep breath, she opened her mind to it. The universe exploded behind her eyelids, not in images this time, but in possibilities. She saw timelines branching like cosmic rivers, flowing toward different destinies. In one, the Los crumbled to dust as its suns were devoured. In another, Earth withered under skies gone dark. But there, threading between catastrophes like a silver needle, was a single path where both survived. "I see it," Fiona whispered, opening her eyes. "The path is narrow, but it exists." Queen Nyxera's relief was palpable. "Then you will help us?" "I'll help both our worlds," Fiona corrected. "But I need to return to Earth first. The redirection must begin there." The journey back to the Thalorian city passed in a blur. Fiona's consciousness was split now, part of her remained in the present, while another part skimmed across potential futures, constantly recalculating, adjusting, searching for the optimal path. 3 days later, she stood beside her repaired ship. The Thalorian engineers had not only fixed the damage but enhanced its systems beyond Earth's current technology. "The bond between you and the Shimmer Stone is permanent," Queen Nyxera explained as they prepared for Fiona's departure. "Its gift will remain with you even across the void between our worlds." "I still don't fully understand why it chose me," Fiona admitted. Nyxera's 3 eyes regarded her with something approaching affection. "The universe does not make mistakes, Fiona Blackwood. You were always meant to be the bridge between our civilizations." As Fiona boarded her ship, the Shimmer Stone now housed in a special compartment near her heart, she felt a strange mixture of dread and exhilaration. The weight of responsibility was immense, but so was the wonder of what she had become, a navigator not just of space, but of possibility itself. "Safe journey, star traveler," Queen Nyxera's voice echoed in her mind as the ship's engines ignited. "Remember your promise." "I won't forget," Fiona whispered, though she knew the queen could no longer hear her. 2 worlds, 1 future. The ship rose into Thalos's atmosphere, breaking free of its gravity with an ease that surprised Fiona. As she plotted a course for Earth, the Shimmer Stone pulsed against her chest, showing her not just the physical path home but the decisions she would need to make once she arrived, people to contact, technologies to develop, diplomatic bridges to build between humanity and the stars. She would return to Earth not as the person who had left it, a simple cartographer charting physical space, but as something far more complex, a mapper of destinies, a reader of potential futures, the unlikely ambassador between two civilizations that had never known of each other's existence. The stars streaked past her view screen as the ship accelerated to faster-than-light speeds. Fiona smiled, placing her hand over the compartment where the Shimmerstone rested. The Queen had been right, it was a gift beyond imagining, terrible and wonderful in equal measure. In the vastness of space, Fiona Blackwood charted a new course, not just for herself, but for two worlds hanging in the balance. The darkness that threatened them both could be averted, she now knew, but only if the right choices were made, only if the narrow path she had glimpsed could be followed with precision and courage. As Earth grew from a distant point of light to a familiar blue sphere, Fiona prepared herself for what was to come. She had left home as a cartographer of stars, she returned as a navigator of fate itself. The Shimmerstone's pulse synchronized with her heartbeat, a constant reminder of her promise to a queen from a world that shouldn't exist and the gift that had changed everything. Two worlds, separated by unfathomable distance yet now inextricably linked through her. Time to make some history, Fiona whispered as Earth's gravity embraced her ship, pulling her home to begin the work that would save not just her world, but a distant one of crystal and starlight. The gift of distant stars had found her, transformed her, and now through her, it would reshape the destiny of two civilizations hovering on the brink of oblivion. Not through conquest or technology, but through something both simpler and more profound, the ability to see what could be, and the courage to make it so.